Well, hello there, YouTube. How's it going? This is Ali from The AI Enthusiast. So today we're going to be talking about Whisper, which is a speech to recognition software that or model that OpenAI developed. And so we're going to jump right in, actually. So, one of the cool things I like about OpenAI is, you can look at the research. They have lots of stuff to look at. And this is, if you want to go to Whisper in particular, just go to openai.com, research Whisper. And from here, you can see on the bottom, you'll see that this was published basically 6 months ago, right? Read paper, view code, view model card. You can see a lot of information they provided freely and publicly. So, when I click on read paper, it'll open up the actual research paper that was published. All 28 pages. You can take a look at how it compared against other models. You can try to understand how it works underneath the hood. At a high level, it is a transformer model, the input that you feed is a spectrogram. You can take a look at this information and make some sense out of it. But today, if you're not an AI ML person, technical from a mathematics and theory perspective, that's okay. We just want to introduce you to, how can you leverage this technology? So I'm actually going to open up a notebook that I have, and I got this, full credit goes to a person with the handle of AMRRS, and I've put their GitHub link here. And then, of course, Pete Warden, who had their Colab notebook pasted online, publicly available. And so I basically simplified it a little bit, but this is heavily inspired from his code. So what we're going to do in this demo really is there's a .wav file. So .wav is just WAV is the extension. It's an audio file. And what it allows you to do, it's a file that has audio on it, right? So what this is going to do, Whisper is going to take that speech and it's going to convert it to text. It's pretty simple, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to open this up, and I'll provide the link in the description. And what you'll do is you just kind of execute this one by one. And remember, it's Shift Enter for each one of these. So when I Shift Enter on text, nothing happens. So below, we're actually going to install the model. You'll see we're going to pip install. And right now it's, the first execution, first command. So it's actually connecting to a VM on the top right. You can see that here. And I can look at, view resources on this machine. I actually got a GPU instance and RAM right here and then disk. So you can see right now, nothing's really in use. And we are installing the OpenAI Whisper.git repository. You'll see right here, this is, if I look at this GitHub, you got yourself OpenAI Whisper.git repository. So now from here, we will then proceed to look at the files, really. So this will just clone the repo, and it'll clone it into our current working directory or present working directory. So if I do ls-r, recursively look up on the Whisper. So we downloaded the repository. The base folder is actually in Whisper. So we downloaded it. And so I can actually go ahead and add a little bit of text here, plus code. When I do the apostrophe right here, I can then just run a command on the machine. So I can see listing the folders or files. So you see Whisper was downloaded here. I do a recursive look, and these are all the things inside of the Whisper repository, the Git repo. So you can try to get a sense of what's going on here, but primarily you're going to be looking at Whisper/Whisper. Some interesting files in here. Obviously, this is going to show you what actually the model is comprised of. So if you want to take a look, that's a great way to get started to understand this model, aside from reading the paper for a high-level introduction as well, and or depth. And then finally, if you want to look at the README, I already showed you the README on the repo, but you could just do a cat command on the Whisper/README file, and this is the exact same thing we were looking at earlier. As mentioned, there's several models here. So what we're going to do, going down, we're going to load in the ML model. So very simple, you import Whisper. It's been installed already via pip. And so now the model gets loaded. I'm going to do base. So base is the second largest, I believe, if I recall correctly. Let's take a look at the README. And voila, right here, 74 million parameters. So yeah, now let's take a look here. It's almost, looks like it's done. Now we'll just check if it has a GPU. If it has a CPU, your virtual machine, that's fine. We already checked that it has a GPU available to it inside of viewing resources here. So you can see we've already started using some of that RAM. Finally, we have to use audio files. So you can create your own and then attach them. I won't go through that here, but you can look online. Basically on Colab, you can attach, or you can add in WAV files, and or you can just copy this code at home and run it on your machine. But over here, so using test audio WAV files, what I did here is I just copied a file. So we have a bunch of data here, or decent bit. These are speech codec WAV samples. So they have a bunch of files here, and I just downloaded this one right here. So this is a male sample. So you click on it.
But what if somebody decides to break it? Be careful that you keep adequate coverage. But
yada, yada, yada. And it's like several people talking, several males talking. It's 51 seconds long. So, present working directory, you can see we're in the content directory. And so then I just curl it. Output is going to be in the content directory. I'm going to do it file.wav. That's going to be the file name. And then this is the original location. So full credit to this website for that. And then finally, I can see now if I do the ls command, I've also downloaded the file.wav, and then I can actually read it inside of Colab. So Colab, like I said, is a very handy tool. In the future, I'll show you how you can render images using matplotlib. If you want to, there's just so much cool stuff that you can do with Colab. Everything's kind of ready to go. So now I can play this audio file. It's the exact same file. And then finally, from here, I'm just going to go ahead and here's some code. It'll take that file path, it'll load it, it'll trim it, then it'll convert it to the spectrogram. So logmel, I haven't looked at that particular flavor of spectrogram, but spectrograms in general, it's a short time Fourier transform. So if you have Fourier transform, if you have signal processing background, you'll have an idea of what that is. So I'm assuming that logmel is something similar, but I want to do an in-depth video on Whisper and how it works. So hopefully if I ever get around to that video, I can then get into the details of the signal processing side, how you convert the data in once you sample it off your audio device, off your audio system, and then from there, what is this, and then from there, how does Whisper under the hood? What is the architecture? So that'll be an in-depth video. Right now, we're just kind of talking high level, and then finally, you basically get the detected language, and then this is what it outputs. I can run it, but I've already ran it, and then it's a decoding result. So to get the actual text decoded, do the .text right here, and you'll see it's pretty much what we had in the audio file. Like I didn't verify, I just looked at the first couple of words. But what you can do is make a smaller audio file, and then you can see if it's doing the speech to text accurately. So anyways, guys, I know this video's gotten a little long, but I just wanted to say, this is great. We're using Colab. We're talking about, AI tech, and actually showing how you can use it, how you can incorporate it into your code, and also, getting our feet wet with actually kind of looking at, the algorithm side of it, which is really, really neat. So anyway, stay tuned for more videos, and have a good one, guys. Take care.